to you on a Friday afternoon with plenty of reflection, introspection, and dissection of an issue that, you know what, it's crazy right now. It's crazy. I'm going to call it a pandemic. It's really a she-demic, really, because what's taking place right now is that young men, our black sons, are falling prey not to financial illiteracy. They're not falling prey to racial illiteracy as much as they are falling prey to relationship illiteracy. They are falling prey to relationship illiteracy. They are falling prey to relationship illiteracy. This is what's going on. And let me speak from the perspective of a father. For those who don't know, I have 3 beautiful daughters and I got 3 wonderful sons. And I'm not biased in any way, shape, or form, but I'm realistic. And the realistic aspect of this is that we are not building wives out of our young girls. That's not what we're doing with them. We are creating young ladies who are one of 2 things. They are either incredibly demanding, or they are incredibly independent. One of 2 things. They're incredibly demanding, or they're incredibly independent. And I'm not dealing with the independent ones right now, because the independent ones are not the immediate problem. Hello, I'm on a live, but I will call you back. Unless you want to answer this question for me, you could be on the live too. I did call you back, but you didn't answer the phone, so I went on a live talking about how our black sons need to have relationship literacy. Are you trying to be on the call? Are you trying to be on the live? Then come off my phone. All right. Bye-bye. Relationship literacy. Jalen Green, 21-year-old young man, said to be dating a 39-year-old model, and she's potentially pregnant. Now, in normal circumstances, we would find that to be very irregular. But these days, it's not. Zion Williamson comes out of there with, and they're probably in the same boat. They're brothers who are gonna earn about $400 million in the course of their career. Those 2 men I just mentioned. They're very young. Zion has been having an ongoing social media back and forth with a black female porn star. Black female porn star. And this is the thing, too, excuse me, that you gentlemen and ladies have always ridiculed these young black boys. Said, they go and they get rich and they go and they marry white women. Well, these 2 young men are looking for black women. One is dating a model. The other is dating a porn star. Doesn't stop with those 2. You got Jaylen Brown from the Boston Celtics, who is also dating a woman who is a grandmother. That's right. She's a beautiful woman, still a beautiful woman, but she's a grandmother. And so what you have is an epidemic of young black men who do not have relationship literacy. This is another statistic that I don't know if many of you know. 87%, you Google it, 87% of NBA marriages end in divorce within 5 years. So these young men are getting involved in relationships, serious relationships. They're progressing to serious level because these women know what they want. They know what they're doing. They either get pregnant or they entice these men to get married. And in the footnote, Zion was dating a porn star, but then he got another girl pregnant. So he's got to deal with that girl's baby. So he was dealing with two potential scenarios. One is dragging his career. Mariah Mills is dragging his career all over the place. She says she has a sex tape on him. She's going to release the sex tape. If the Pelicans don't release him and get rid of him, she's doing the most. And then he has his actual woman that he's gotten pregnant. Also, the absenteeism of relationship literacy is going to force and allow these two things to happen. These young black sons are essentially going to assign their lifelong financial wealth over to people who have been in their lives for under 6 years. Imagine your son making $400 million, and you know, well, half of it's 50% of that's tax anyway. And then the other 50% of it is going to a woman that he has met in the first few years of his basketball career, and knowing that relationship is not a very long relationship. Again, it's like I said, 87%, call it 90% of all NBA marriages end in divorce, and they do so within 5 years. So now you have these young men full of money. They're little boys though, because they're coming into the NBA now at the average age of 19. They've got their full male parts. They've got a ton of money. They have counselors around them making sure that they don't waste their money, but they have nobody teaching them actual relationship literacy. And in the case of gentlemen like Ja Morant, they don't even have proper life skills. They have too much money, too much liberty, and no life skills. And the second thing that they're going to do after they a second phenomena rather that will take place as these young men are handing over wealth. There's never been a time like the present where young women, and in this case grandmothers and porn stars and whoever else, will be inheriting the plethora of wealth that they will be able to get from these young basketball players. We talked about Michael Jordan's divorce, and it was like the most expensive divorce ever. It's going to be nothing. Bill Gates giving away his fortune, and Jeff Bezos giving away those things are going to be nothing. Well, Jeff Bezos is a lot. But when you look at the preponderance of money that is coming from these young men who are heading towards these so-called serious relationships with young women that are not being built to be wives. Young women today, most are being cultured to be independent, part one, or they're being cultured to be extremely entitled, that everything in that man's world belongs to them. That's a crazy notion that you see it all the time. Kevin Samuels, God rest his soul, showed us all of the entitlement of this demographic of women who truly believe that it is their purpose in life to be taken care of. They have assigned, interestingly enough, patriarchal responsibilities on men, told them that it's their job to provide and to pay for everything, and it's their job to keep whatever they have for themselves and to spend every penny of that man's money on themselves. They have reassigned what it is to be a man. They have told us what a good man is. They have taken good looks, good character off the table. They have minimized the need to seek out people who would be good fathers. And all they have said is that a man is an individual who comes in, walks in, and purchases their capacity to be his mate by paying for everything they require and need. And men have bought this. Men have accepted this. Men have processed this and says, well, these are what women want, so I have to do this. This is who I am as a man. I have to pay for everything, buy everything, do everything she says financially in order to be considered to be a good man. And the level of financial illiteracy that has now swept through the world, especially for black men, is incredible. It's incredible. I've had young girls say things to me like, oh, I love Jamaican men. Why do you like Jamaican men? because they go through the process of paying for everything and doing everything. So you don't like Jamaican men. You like men that have a culture of paying for everything for you. Yes. Another group of men. I like American men. Why? Because American men, you know, they go after what they want. They're aggressive, but they go after what they want. And what does that mean, going after what they want? They will buy you. They will fly you out. They will pay for it. And so young women have now been recultured to understand that a man likes you who pays the most for you. So their social arena is no longer a dating arena, it's an auction. And they are now being auctioned out to men who have the capacity to do the most for them. I remember I met a young lady on the street. Immediately our eyes locked. We liked each other. She walked by me. And for some reason, she managed to walk back around. I said hello. She said hello. She goes, I saw you when I came by. She goes, but I had a feeling about something. I go, what? Will you be able to afford me? Maybe the second thing out of her mouth. Will you be able to afford me? And I said, you know what? Based on what you're telling me, I don't think so. And she went her way. And she's one of the it girls in Toronto, right? But that type of behavior for me is some of the ugliest behavior. There's two types of women that I cannot stand. A woman that cannot keep her body parts with one male, and a woman who feels that her body parts are for sale to any man. So it's incredible to me, and it's a shock. And I'll tell you right now, don't think because you're currently married or currently in a relationship with an individual that supposedly is not like that, that you are immune to a very quickly evolving culture. Because what takes place is that now your relationship comes under the microscope of cultural scrutiny. Women start looking at other women, talking to other women and say, hey, you know, isn't he doing this for you? My man's doing that for me. He's not doing that for you. And these things become, I would say, reprogramming of your current situation. You have to be careful who you bring around your house. You have to be careful who you allow your woman to watch on television. What individuals you allow to be her so-called role models. What music she's listening to. Come on, she's listening to City Girls or Ken the Man. Boy, you can tell if she's listening to Sanshia. If Sanshia is her favorite artist, you in trouble. You in a whole lot of trouble, brother. So, but the number one thing for me though is making sure that our sons are able to detect the difference between a woman and a harlot. A woman and a harlot. A harlot is for sale. And I can't lie, I'm raising my daughters to be independent. I'm not raising my daughters to like the 1950s where they're fantastic cooks and they know how to keep a house, and you know they know how to mind children. And I'm not raising those types of girls. My girls are very progressive. My girls are brilliant. They're gonna be executives, but they're probably gonna be terrible wives. I've told them all that to their face. I said, I'm sorry for the young man who marry you guys. He better have some money. He better have enough money for maids and to buy and get a cook. You know what? Because he gonna starve with y'all. Woof. I try to get them in the kitchen. I try to say, hey, listen, no, you guys go in there and make me a meal for how is it your dad can cook and you can't cook? Nah, that's terrible. But this is the culture that we're in, and we say we have a thing in Trinidad where we say you make the child, but you can't make their mind. And my youngest has the best chance of all of them to be a fantastic wife and has the balance. But you know, once you have that personality, once they got that personality with dad, it's not about all that. Dad is this and it's that. It's pretty hard to bend that tree. My youngest just has that great temperament. She's in the kitchen. She's doing everything. She can cook. She can clean a little bit. She ain't a great cook yet. She ain't a great cleaner yet either. But she's willing, and I have a little bit of hope for her. The other two are brilliant. They're going to be doctors and lawyers. One's already well underway in that direction. But as far as homemakers, I don't know about that. And I'm not mad. I ain't mad, because I'd rather an independent woman than a harlot all day long. So with our young men, though, and especially young guys who are going into the NBA and going into the NFL, guys who are and guys going to the music industry and experience this large amount of money, we've got to change the narrative, man. Honestly, we've got to change the narrative. We've got to change the cultural narrative that allows these young men to believe that that's the kind of women that they should be looking towards. And we have to eliminate this stripper culture from the minds of our young girls. That means, ladies, that starts with you. That starts in how you're dressing these little girls. How quickly you allow them to wear makeup and to get their hair, their nails done, and get eyelashes done. And you think it's cute. Your little 8-year-old is doing pedicures, and she's going, oh, it's just her pedicure. No, let her take a file and file her own doggone toes and get a nail clipper. How about that? Let her realize that life is not about just being pampered. Life is about working for what you have. Life is about knowing how to do stuff. Many of my hairstyles that you guys have seen, she's 12 now. She just turned 12 on Sunday. She taught herself. This little girl taught herself how to braid hair. She brags because all my kids, I taught them how to ride bicycles. She's like, Dad, you didn't teach me. I learned how to ride the bike myself. She's such a go-getter. She wants to learn. She wants to do stuff. She's the one who'll come and say, can I help you wash the dishes? Can I help you cook? She's different. She's just different. She's a throwback. But many of our young girls are not like that. But it's the young boys, though. It's the young boys that we have to allow them. Ooh, you just don't want to live. You have to allow them to know that's not what you're looking for in a girlfriend. That's not what you're looking for in a wife. And men, we've got to marry women like that. We got to allow women like that to be the ones who are rearing these children, right? Because if their mom doesn't have that, they're not going to have that, which is kind of the case with my daughters, where their mom couldn't cook and still can't clean. I just report the news. She can cook now because I taught her, but she back in the day when we were together, but she still can't clean a doggone thing. They pretty and can't clean. And she never taught the daughters to cook because she learned late. So, that these things were not passed on, and that's why it's a miracle my child can braid hair, because her mother didn't teach her that. So we have a scenario where you've got to be looking for things that are wife material. That I am a number one culprit. All my friends say, Dell, man, you dated 9s and 10s, and it's true. 9s and 10s with no skills. 9s and 10s with no home training. 9s and 10s can't make you a cup of coffee, baby. They can't do it. They are just like prize ponies. Take care of them. And so there's something to be said. I talked to a brother yesterday. He says, man, I date strong 6s. She's a strong 6. I'm like, hey, and there's a difference. So somebody said there's a difference between marriage material and mattress material. And as young boys, we need to teach them that right away. Zion was looking for mattress material. And what possesses a young at a porn star? A young lady. Anyway, before this live gets wishy-washy, that's me. That's it. Literacy, relationship literacy. Looking for these things. That's what needs to be taught. The NBA needs to start sitting these young men down and say, hey, let's talk about relationship literacy. Let's talk about the fact that you are now a target. You are prey. These women are coming for you. Let's talk about the fact that you will never be able to truly trust the sincerity of an individual. You have to financially protect yourself from the dating moment. From the moment of dating, you need NDAs. You need do not not really do not compete, but you need scenarios where you're getting prenup signed in the dating phase. If and when we go in this direction, this is the scenario. You need to protect yourself. And these young men need to be taught that. Relationship literacy. When you've got 21-year-old men dating grandmothers, something's wrong. You got 21-year-old men dating women twice their age and getting them pregnant. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. And let me just say this part. Not one of these women I named is not extremely attractive. So what's going on with the young women at the age level of these 21-year-olds? Maybe that's why they're going to granny, because maybe you young ladies are not being cultured properly. Maybe that 39-year-old can make him a good meal. Maybe she can teach him how to clean a house and keep a proper scenario. Maybe that's why he's going all the way to your grandmama, but he doesn't want you. Financial literacy, that's a good thing. But relationship literacy, that's much more important. It's Del K. Brereton. This is The Real Spiel. I hope you all are well.